Infrared glow rocks and night vision binoculars. It sounds really cool, but for special forces in Afghanistan, it's not just a toy. These are necessities provided by the group our next guest founded. Lieutenant Colonel Eric Egland from Troops Need You joins us now. Thank you for coming in.
All right, thank you, Shannon.
Listen, we always love your updates because what your group does is to find out specifically what troops need and send those exact items. You've got some very high-tech things here today. Tell us a little bit about what's the most important thing and why our troops need it.
Sure. So what's happening is, as the Pentagon's announced and has been in the media, is that the shift of the burden for fighting in Afghanistan is going over to special forces. And what that means is they're spreading out into smaller and smaller teams, going in further and further out into what we call cowboy country or contested territory to try to influence the villagers and the locals and things. So when you go in those small units and you're trying to go, farther, faster, some of the things you need, you can use some of this technology to call the force enabler or force for force protection. So we've got a few things that troops have specifically requested that really help them out.
All right, tell us about this rock because I had to ask you exactly what that is, but it's really cool and it's also very functional for our troops.
It is, yeah. It's called an infrared glow rock. All it is you can see there's a little sensor right there. And so what that does is if you can set this on the ground, and if someone walks by, this will light up. So where you would use this is, say, in a village engagement where you're going somewhere and you don't have enough security, you're not going out there with a huge presence. So maybe there's some areas that you need protection, or you want to know if someone's moving around. You set these out, nobody can see them along a path or along a roadway, when all of a sudden, if they light up, somebody knows there's somebody walking over there. So it's helpful from a force protection or just situational awareness point of view.
And communications as well. You have a couple things.
We do a couple things. First of all, night vision binoculars, and so the troops all have night vision, but those monocles are really designed for when you're breaching a house or you're inside very close quarters, because the range on those isn't as good. Whereas the range here is good, and the adversaries know what the ranges are, so they tend to go outside those, so it's harder for us to see. Things like that help. Wrist-mounted GPS. This is always nice because they either mount it to their kit or to their wrist, and therefore they can keep their hands free, which you always need. Another one is a Wi-Fi enabled video monitor. So this is just like, we have something similar to this for our little babies at home, but it's not Wi-Fi enabled. But this is a good way for just tactical surveillance anytime you want to keep eyes on. This is probably the most important element that we're shipping in this particular shipment. This is a handheld signals intelligence, communications frequency interceptor. So this is what you need when you're going, say you cross that ridge line and to go down into a village or into a valley, all of a sudden people know you're coming. And at that moment you want to know who's calling whom. To get a sense, and maybe what they're saying, maybe over a radio frequency or a cell phone call, because maybe that's dangerous to you, or you just want a sense of who's communicating with whom. Now, troops always go out with these, but here's what happens. As they split these teams into smaller and smaller elements, there's only so many comms trucks that have this kind of technology, and all of a sudden now they're asking, hey, we need handheld ones to be able to save our, possibly save our lives, and have that advance warning if someone's saying, hey, move your assault element over to that ridge because they're coming this way. Our troops need to know that before they start taking fire.
Well, you certainly, having your own experience in service to our country, you saw the need and you've put together a wonderful charity that meets very specific needs of our troops. And as you said, it can be a lifesaver. We thank you very much for doing this. We want to let folks know, troopsneedyou.com. It's there on the bottom of your screen. I know a lot of people and Fox viewers have gotten involved and made it possible for you to send these things. So thank you very much for the update, for the work you're doing, and for all the folks out there who have helped as well in donating to the group.
Yeah, your audience has been a big help, and this is a ministry for me. I can love my neighbor. Practical application of that, and your viewers have been a big part of making it possible. So thank you.
Thank you as well, Eric. Always great to see you.
Thanks, Shannon.